for Rex Brandstatter Senior Talk, and that's brought to you by the Solon American Legion Senior Benefits and Walden Place Senior Living. How are you doing today, Rex?
Well, it's a great day, Molly. I didn't have to blow in here today. It was just a normal day out there, for God's sakes. Well, away we go. Thank you so much, Molly. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Senior Talk. Absolutely beautiful day here in April, the middle of April. We're going to call it just one day past the middle because 30 days has September, April, June, and September, if I recall, from third grade or something like that. I don't know if I got them all right, but...
November,
there you go. I knew. I see as you get older, you forget these things. So Molly's still young. Well, Senior Talk it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great day out there. Sun's out. Who wouldn't be all fired up today? I am, and we're going to have some fun here on Senior Talk for sure. And thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy senior day to say, let's take a minute and see what Rex can cook up this week. And what I mean cook up, here's what Rex does, is I try to come up with topics that might be important to you or your family or someone in one of your group, you guys and ladies deal with, and maybe it's something that doesn't pertain to you, but maybe could help someone in your immediate family, one of your friends. That's the goal here, and I only can help you with supposedly expert, but real estate advice and suggestions and promotion type of things, and everything else we talk about. Well, I would direct you to call the insurance people or call an investment lady or a guy or a repair guy, things like that. That's what I do. I'm just trying to get you thinking about things that just might help you. So I recommend you sit down, take a break from your busy senior day, get yourself a sandwich and a nice cold root beer, and let's see what we can do, because every week I try to bring a lot of ideas to you that might cover important aspects. So let's see what we've got this week. My name is Rex Brandstatter. I'm 75 years old, and I'm a real estate broker, and I really, really work every day to meet and talk and work with seniors. And along the way, unfortunately, I work with a lot of executors of senior estates. I work with administrators of senior estates. I work with the attorneys with the seniors. Bank trust departments call me. All kinds of different people call me. CPAs call me. Seniors themselves call me. Of course, senior family members. I meet with seniors and the family members, because now the seniors depend on, hope they want the input from the family on certain decisions. That's what I do. And I have a senior line just for you, which is 319-330-5534. 330-5534. Give me a call. I'll see if I can help you out. That's what I do. I look forward to hearing from you. So that's what's going to go on at the top of the show. I'd just like to say thank you to all the men and women at the local American Legions and all those who have served our country. It's because of people like you, men and women like you, that a guy like me can sit here at the radio station and say within reason anything I want before they pull the plug on me. But, it's freedom of speech, and that's the beauty of this country. Well, speaking of freedom of speech, let's get right down to something here that I think hopefully you're not overlooking. This is extremely important, and it's going to hit all of us real quick like this if you're not prepared, and it's called a Real ID, R-E-A-L, Real ID. And basically what this means is you have to prove that you are you. That's just you have to prove to the world that you are Fred W. Smith, Jane W. Jones. And here's what you have to do. And you have to, I think it's by May 17th, you have to do this. Or you probably will not be able to get on a domestic or an international airplane. Well, we're going to Florida to see some friends in July. If you don't have a real ID, you won't get on that plane. Well, we're going to go on a cruise, and, you're going to need a passport. So a passport will suffice. When you go down to DMV, you have to get this on your driver's license or other form of ID. Everybody has a driver's license, we'll say. So get it on your driver's license. Here's what you need to do. If you do not have a passport, you need the proof of identity, and you have to go to the Driver's License Bureau. Now, old Rex is smart in his old age, and I didn't want to fight the lions at the DMV in Johnson County, so I drove out to Marengo, Iowa. You can go anyone you want to, any courthouse, anywhere where's the DMV, and I drove to the Marengo, Iowa DMV department. They're right in the courthouse on the town square, and we had to wait about 5 minutes, if that. So that's what I suggest you consider. All right, here, if you do not have a real ID, you can look on your driver's license in the upper right-hand corner. There'll be a big yellow star. I have a big yellow star on my driver's license. But Rex, our driver's license isn't due yet. It makes no difference. You have to go get this thing, and I think it costs $10. All right, if I recall, it costs $10. Here's what you need to take: an official birth certificate, and not the one with the has your baby footprints on it. That's not what they want. They want an official birth certificate. Well, God, my mom had that. I haven't seen that for years. You can go online, look up, just type in birth certificate, look up online, you'll find it. You can call down to the DMV, they'll help you find one, or a valid passport. All right, so that's number one. A birth certificate, official birth certificate, and a copy, not a copy, but you can take one and have it notarized that it's an official copy. They'll do that for you down at the courthouse. Proof of Social Security. You can take in your Social Security card. Oh, excuse me, a proof of Social Security number. Proof of your number. You could take in your Social Security card. You could take in a W-2 or a 1099 with your name on it. Now, I went in there and here's my Social Security number because I don't have a W-2. I don't have a 1099 because I don't work for anybody. I work for myself. So they said, well, that's a copy of a Social Security card. I said, well, I lost it when I was like 16 days or 16 years old after I got it. So I had to send to the Social Security office to get a replacement. So I got one back in about a couple of weeks. So this thing's really closing in on you, ladies and gentlemen. So I got the new card and I took it in. That sufficed. Right now you need a birth certificate, a Social Security card, and you need to take 2 items from the following list. Number 1, a utility bill is sent to 123 Main Street with your name on it, Fred W. Smith. Okay, or a pay stub. Or a postmarked piece of mail. You just got a letter from your brother-in-law, your brother, and it's mailed to you, and it's postmarked. It's got your name, street address. You could take that in, okay? A copy of utility bill or a bank or a credit card statement is fine to your name on. A pay stub from your job or a piece of mail. And proof of any legal name change. Now, this would be more than likely mostly for the ladies if you got married and changed your name. A marriage certificate if your last name changed. I'm going to say that 95% of them have or did. A divorce decree indicating a name change, okay, or some sort of a court order. So, original birth certificate, copy of your birth certificate, a Social Security card or a W-2 or a 1099 with your name on it, a copy of a utility bill and or a pay stub or a piece of mail. Have to have 2 and need to take in, if you're married, you were Jane Smith, and now you're Jane Jones. You need to take in a copy of your marriage certificate. They will at the Marengo Courthouse, Iowa County Courthouse. My wife didn't have that, so she walked down the hall to the clerk court, and they got online, and somehow a magic of computers pulled one out, certified it. We took it back up to the office about 20, 30 feet, 50 feet away, and got it. So that's what we did, and this is a big deal. So you think, wow, we don't fly. We're not going to go on a cruise. Okay, that's your business. This is the deadline. Now, here's the deal. I don't know if you can get one afterwards or not. I don't know that. I can't answer that. If you'll be able to get one in July or down the road, I assume you will, but it won't. I think the ramifications start on May 17th. Okay, you can probably get one in June. Probably get one next August. But you won't be able to get on an airplane in the meantime. You'll be on a Greyhound bus. I assume you can get on a Greyhound bus. So here's how this could affect you. Number 1, you're going to go somewhere in July. You don't have this. Well, it sounds to me like the May 17th wouldn't bother you if you're going to leave in July, but you have to get it. But if you got a call and said, oh, your son has been in a car accident down in Tucson, and you need to get down there, and you don't have a real ID, you're not going to get on an airplane. That is the problem. So take this really, really important and get busy with that. All right. Because I think it's going to be a real issue for a lot of people are going to be standing in the airport because they can't get on an airplane. We didn't know anything about this real ID. Well, their head's been in the sand. This real ID's been all over the news everywhere. So get it. You'll be right at the head of the line. How did Rex got you to the head of the line at the airport? There you go with that. Tell you what, I do. This is about me. I have a CD up for renewal next week. All right. And I'm not sure what the rates are going to be. I looked them up today and about shook my head. Not as bad as I thought, not as good as I have been, but not as bad. So we'll see what next Wednesday is the day that it matures. We'll see what happens. My mom and dad used to, honestly, part of their income was from the CD income. Because the CDs, when they had them back, God, the 70s and 80s, were 7 and 8%, just like clockwork. One would come due, and my dad said, "Oh, it's up to 7 3/8 this time, so they'd renew a bunch of CDs and stuff like that. Now, not so much. Now, I actually think the bank should be embarrassed with how they don't ask me anything, ladies and gentlemen, but I think they should be embarrassed with what they pay. I'm not involved in that in any way, shape, or form. But it's pretty low dog. But I guess they're doing the best they can. They're all about the same, within an eighth of each other. This one has a 13-month or a 9-month or things like that. So anyhow, so I'm just kind of like you folks. I'm kind of waiting on the sidelines to see what it'll renew at. I think one of them I'm going to renew is at 5.4, and what I just saw on the sheet for this week is like 3.4. So well, that's not good for that kind of money. Oh well, all right. As a senior, do you feel like your life sometimes is a rather routine, a daily operation? You get up at the same time, you go to bed at the same time, and actually that's what the health people recommend, is that you go to bed about the same time, get up at the same time, so your body gets in a routine, which is apparently healthy for you. Okay, well, that as you get older, you won't folks, you won't have any problem going to bed on time as you're a senior. Hey, that's just what it is. You know, we just poop out much for most of us, not everybody. And getting up at the same time, the same routine. A lot of doctors recommend that you get so many hours of sleep, go to bed at the same time, and we do get into a rut. I have to admit that. But each one of us is different, so if it fits for you, fine. Over the years, I've found myself trying to stay awake for lots and lots of Dodger baseball games on the West Coast, where they don't start till 9 or 9:15, and I've left many hundreds over the years of Dodger baseball games, and after the fourth inning, I just fall asleep. That's it. Or I listen to them on the radio a lot, or they're on TV. I never see it past about the fourth or fifth inning. It's just what it is. And then I read from the health people that say try to get into a go to bed and get up routine type of thing. So I guess if that is your routine, more power to you. We just know that as seniors, that if you don't go to bed at a good reasonable time, it'll bite you the next day as seniors. It for sure will. So good luck to you on that. Some of you are night owls. Whatever the routine is, that's your business. It makes no difference. Whatever your routine is for that, just go to it. Well, I actually like to. Speaking of that, I like to challenge myself in different ways that you're going to think are corny, but this is what kind of works for me. My wife just shakes her head and said, I don't know why you have to worry about things. But I like to challenge myself. I like to go different directions to get somewhere in town. So if I know I'm going to go from Coralville to downtown, I might go take Melrose. I might take the interstate. I might take Highway 6. I might drive south of town, come in on Highway 1. I see different things, different parts of town. As a real estate guy or broker, I always like to see different things going up. If you don't take a tour once in a while, you get to know those things. But I like to visit different grocery stores in different towns. What? I like to visit different grocery stores in different towns, and it's confusing because different stores have different layouts, but actually they have a lot of different things. And it sounds easier to do and things like that. It's fun. I think it's fun. I honestly don't care about the pricing so much. I go there with a list. I always take a list. Otherwise, you don't get the things you want. Of course, I always add to it. But if you want to go to challenge yourself, really, just go to a different grocery store. You can go to one with the same chain. Or say you go to a different Hy-Vee. They might look the same, but some of them have different things. And I don't know about the prices. I've seen different prices in some of the Hy-Vees. But have you been to the store in West Branch? Have you been to the Super Target in Cedar Rapids? Have you been to anything down in Washington, Iowa? How about stopped in in the West Liberty? There are lots of grocery stores you could go to. You probably don't want to buy ice cream and try to beat it home, but I just find that a personal challenge, and not so much to make my brain work. I guess that's a byproduct of what I do, but it's just sort of to give myself a challenge that I can do these things, and I'm really not, quote, in a rut. Well, a senior man is asking me, time for me to retire again and say enough. I said, what did you say? He said, well, it's time for me to retire again. And just this time say enough. I said, well, what's going on here? He says, well, I retired 3 years ago at age 67. I waited to age 70 to get Social Security, and I thought everything was going great. I retired at 67 on my own. I waited 3 years to get Social Security to let that build up so I get more, which is happening, which is way to go, I think. He said, I got a call from my old company and absolutely begged me to return for 1 year. Bob, you got to come back to work. We can't figure this out. You did such a great job. You were in charge of shipping or handling or inventory or whatever it might be. They begged me to come back. He said, they put food on my table for over 40 years. So I said, okay. And they said, it'll be for a year. So he said, I went back and I stayed 2.5 years to help them out. He said, I knew that was going to happen when I went back. So now here's this guy who's 72 and a half. He said, now I'm telling him, I told him the other day, he said that June 30th is it. Don't bother me. I'm out the door. If you don't have a replacement, it's your fault, not my fault. I'm done. I don't want to work anymore. I don't want anything to do with working. I've had it. Time for me to do something with the rest of my life. I said, well, good for you. You made the decision. You are retired for 3 years, so you're obviously doing fine. He said, I was doing great. And he said, the only reason I went back to work was because I must have had a soft spot for my company, he said, which I did. He said, the money is fine. He said, as a matter of fact, I got another boost from Social Security because I was making more money again. I said, yeah, that is true. You will. But he said, this is it. I just told him last week. So we'll see if he stands tall in the saddle. I hope he does, because he's 70 years old. It's his whatever works for him. And if you're listening today, it's whatever works for you, whatever your retirement or your retirement plans on. Work that system and go to it, for sure. If it involves 3 or 4 years later going back to work part-time or doing something else totally different or going back to the same job this man had, whatever works for you, that's your call. That's the beauty of retirement. You get to make the decision. A senior lady tells me this. I think I'm becoming just like my mom. Uh-oh. I'm reading all about the pills I take. She said, I need to take 3 a day. She said, I've been reading about the prescription, never paid much attention, but I'm sitting at the kitchen table reading about it, the big Sudafed, all the kind of stuff is on there, So she said, I went online and I'm reading about what I'm taking and what it does to my body. And she said, now I'm scared to take half of them half the time. She says, one of them says the side effects could include deteriorating kidneys, eyesight challenges, and possible suicide tendencies. She said, this is crazy. And I said, well, those things sound horrible. And I said, those are things that they have determined in the lab and or real cases that have happened. So I said, if you're a senior and you watch any kind of cable TV, you see advertisements all the time for take this pill, take that pill, go get this shot, do that. If you can make it to your TV and read the fine print on every one of those ads, it says this product has not been tested by the FDA and not intended to cure any kind of a disease, blah, blah, blah. That could be one you're taking. If it's prescribed by your doctor, it might be recommended by the Food and Drug Administration. If you're taking beets every day or drinking 42 pounds of lemon juice every day because you saw an ad on TV, read that little disclaimer down there next time. They think it's a good deal for you, but the Food and Drug Administration hasn't approved it yet, so look out. So I said, well, I would. Here's my comparison to that one. She said that. I'm scared to death to take them. Once she read about it, well, I kind of think that might be like, and this is probably not a good comparison, but you go to your favorite restaurant, and one day you just happen to walk by and look into the kitchen. Would you eat there again? Yeah. I don't know if you would or not, but sometimes you don't want to know, type of thing. But with your health, you certainly want to know. So I told her, just if you really have issues with it, why don't you call your doctor and say that you looked at what she's taking. Are there chances that these things could develop in your system? And most likely, the doctor could say, well, you're only going to be on them for 6 months or a year, or that is for people who have different kinds of issues than you do, so don't be alarmed, okay? Let's hope that's what the doctor says. But as you know, everybody kind of takes a pill. Not everybody, but I'm on one a day, a statin. And I told the doctor I didn't want to take that. I don't want any medicine if I don't have to. And he said, okay, well, if you don't want to take this statin, maybe I'll see you at the funeral home sooner. I said, well, come to think of it, I think I need that statin. So that's what it was about. That was his sales pitch to me. All right. A senior couple tells me this. We decided at age 62 to retire at the same time. Now, this is interesting. We talked about how each of us would be affected on daily routines, coming and going and meal times and things like that. Feelings of how each of us would be affected on daily routines, feelings of guilt for not working or not having a position somewhere, not having any responsibilities at work. We just decided to let work go. So she said, we made that agreement at 62, and at 65 and 65 and a half, respectively, we retired. We made the agreement that we graduated from the working days. How do you like that? We made the statement, we made the agreement that we graduated from our working days. And now we open a new chapter called retirement. Well, I like that. I think that's pretty cool. And it doesn't make any difference if you're 62 or 65 or 53 or 74 or whenever you are comfortable retiring. It makes a lot of sense that you didn't just retire from the plant. You retired, and then you retired to something. Now, the to something could be playing golf, could be quilting, could be walking, or a mixture thereof, of course, I recommend. Could be reading, could be working part-time at a shoe store, something entirely different than you've ever done in your life, because you put your old work daily routines behind you, and you graduated to retirement away from that, and your new activity might never, ever, ever be working again. That's fine. That's great if it works for you. All right. We each have our own activities. We have joint activities, and we never think of our work responsibilities and or any guilt. We love our retirement. I said, good for you, congratulations. And I said, let me ask you a couple questions. All right, what is it? I said, you get in each other's way at home. Now, you retired for 6 months. Your husband was still working, and now he's home. Is he in your way during the day? Is he doing things that you used to do? Is it quiet there? You had a routine you did at lunchtime. You watched maybe a program in the afternoon. Is he impinging on that? She said, well, there have been times. So I said that what you're saying is there's sort of a time to get reacquainted with each other on some. She says, absolutely. She said, that is a real good point. I want you to remember to say that to people sometime. She said, I was here for just a little over half a year by myself, and I started talking to the dog more. I guess you would all do that. Kind of come and go. I didn't have to ask anybody, tell anybody I'm going to go down to shopping. I just went. And now both of us are here together. She said, that's why we both stress that we each keep our own activities. So he goes to a couple of clubs he's in, and I go to a book club, and I play cards with some ladies and things like that. So they're each doing that. Otherwise, they're both sitting at the walls with each other 24/7, 365. That isn't going to cut it, ladies and gentlemen. That is a recipe for brouhaha at your house. So good for them. We love our retirement. Good for them. So if you're listening today and you're 42 years old or 38, and that doesn't mean anything to you, I think this. I think the thing about retirement that you might get out of a talk like this is that between now and when you're going to retire, you should be working on at what age you might be able to retire. And when I say what age, you have to make it a factor of income. You have to make it a factor. If you're going to retire and live in Iowa City, Coralville, northern Wisconsin, live in Wyoming and look at the mountains, whatever it's going to be, you have to lay out a budget. Where will your income come from? And if you retire, quote, early, we'll say 52, you retire. Experts say, the people in the insurance business and wealth planning say they're going to figure you out to 90 to 95 is how long you should plan for your income lasting. So my question to you is, if you're 38 or you're 88, and is your income going to keep going while you're retired? Well, yes, if you have Social Security, as long as it's still there, they're not going to touch that. They're going to rein in the people who are not supposed to be getting it. I can see that. For gosh, they should have done that 30 years, 50 years ago. So it's a challenge to you. You can retire. I've had people call me and ask me, Rex, when can we retire? And I say, you can retire this afternoon if you have an income stream, if you have your medical coverage figured out. Well, yeah, we'd have to have that, wouldn't we? Yeah, I said, yeah. Or if you retired and you don't have the income, you won't be retired very long. You would have just left a good job that you had. So it takes planning. Excuse me, it takes planning on this thing. And if the younger you are, the more time you have to plan and go talk to a financial planner, which I highly recommend you do, by the way. If you're 38 and listening to Senior Talk, or 42 or 45 listening to Senior Talk, you could go to a financial planner and say, here's where I'm at, here's the income I have, quote, we have, here's our idea. We wanted to retire at our full retirement age, according to Social Security, would be, depending on the year you're born, would be 66, but we'd like to retire when we're 62. Can we take to Social Security at 62? Well, the answer is yes. You won't get as much, and you probably, if you can stand it, you should wait longer. The longer you wait up until age 70, you get more. So you see, it's all in the planning, all how everybody's different. You and your neighbors, or you go down to play cards with your friends, or on a Friday night and have a root beer with them, and you got 3 other couples with you. Every one of those people there has different scenario than you do. Every one of the couples have a different scenario. Everybody. So it's important that you tailor make your routines, tailor make your plans according to your age, according to your income, and that's what it takes. If you have a house, how are you going to make a house payment if you don't have the income, type thing? Lots and lots of things. You have to build your case, so to speak. You have to build your case for retirement. You'll know, but trust me, I guess you'll know it. I don't know it yet, but I'm trying to tell you that's what you could consider doing. Never tell you what to do. What you consider doing is building a case for retirement. All right. A senior man tells me this. I have an older residential rental house. Been having sewer issues lately. What are the possibilities and what can happen? Well, sewer issues. That would be a plug sewer. Have to call the Roto-Rooter guys or my friends at City Sewer, Action Sewer, those guys that come into your life. You've got sewer problems, ladies and gentlemen. It happens. It happens. Number 1 to look for is tree roots. That's a biggie. If you have a big old trees in your house or trees in your yard, those tree roots, they get right down there and they get right in if there's any kind of seepage, yeah, it sounds gross, but that's what it's wet, dampest to them. And the tree roots down in that area, down in there, they look like real fine hair, and then they get into a big ball, and they have to put a cutter down through them. That'd be number 1. That'd be a good thing if you have tree roots because you can get rid of it. And then they put copper sulfate down there, and it kills them. Blah, blah. I've been all that. Been there with rental houses before. What are the possibilities of walking tree roots? A ground shift due to excess water drainage causes the line to sink. So if you look around your yard and you've got between you, your house, and the street, your front yard has sunk. It's a low spot, and over the years just got lower and lower and lower. As it sinks, the dirt sinks, the land sinks, and it could take the sewer line down with it, creating a sort of a belly, it's called, a belly in it. Or if you have an older sewer line back in your house built in the 20s, in the 30s, maybe before, a little bit after the war, you might have a tile called Orangeburg tile. That's the name of it, Orangeburg tile. And it's just laid end to end. Easy for roots to get in there. Very easy for it to collapse. Oh, brother. Here's what goes on if you're buying an older home. Let me give you a suggestion. You're buying an older home, any older part of any town, Iowa City, I don't care, Marengo, West Branch. If it was built, you find out when it was built. If it was built, I'm going to say on a limb here, prior to 1960, you might want to consider, before you buy, part of your inspections, have a sewer scope. What? They'll come out with a camera. They'll run a camera down the sewer line to see if it's collapsed, see if there are tree roots, see what's going on in there. Wow, that's craziness, Rex. Who would do that? I'm telling you, if you don't, and you live there 6 months later or 2 years later, as well, this thing's been going south for a long time, we can put in a new sewer line from your house out to the sewer. We'll have to get permits, and part of the sewer's underneath part of the street. We'll dig up the street, put the street back, hook back on. You're talking, Mr. Brandstatter, you're talking $8,000, $10,000, $14,000. And all you had to do was call up and get a $500 sewer scope and tell the seller, fix this or I won't buy the house. Once the seller knows that there's a sewer problem, you've alerted them via an email or a letter, they will have to disclose on the seller disclosure statement that they have a sewer problem, and they'll have to fix it sooner or later. And the next buyer will get a credit from these sellers. You can ask for a credit or the price or install it and get the money for it. They pay the sewer guys or you buy the house and they give you the money to pay the sewer guys. It makes no difference as long as you know going in that you've got a sewer that's not up to par. That's the deal. So I gave him those things and the ground shift, old sewer lines known as Orangeburg tile. That was the thing of the day. That's what they did. And that's what you should be on the lookout for. When was this house built? And he said 1930. I said, kaboom, you have Orangeburg tile. I'll bet you $1. So I said, have a camera sent down there. Oh boy, I think that's what they're going to do. Well, I've got something here for you. A senior gonna be lady called me, and she's early 40s, I believe. My mom has been having real issues with motor skills, memory, speaking coherently, remembering people, events, times, things like that. So we've seen a decline over the last 3 or 4 years for sure, and we've seen a decline in the last 6 months, like she stepped off a cliff. So she said, my 2 siblings and I noticed it. We talk amongst ourselves, and finally, I was with her a month ago, and she said I couldn't do it anymore. I could not go home and leave my mom in her house by herself. She said I just couldn't do it. It's my mom. So she said I got on the phone with my 2 siblings, and we had a big meeting. We're all adults. We had a big meeting, and we all came to the same conclusion that our experiences with mom have all been kind of identical. No more laughing about it. No more, oh, mom put the potatoes in the oven for 9 hours, or something like that. No more jokes about it, anything like that. Now's the time to take action, in their opinion. So what they did was this, and this is, it had to come to this, and here's what happens. Maybe this has happened in your home. Maybe this might happen in your setup. Maybe your mom or whoever would be the person on the other end of this thing lives in Missouri. Whatever has to happen, has to happen. They went there one day, all 3 of them, and they hi, Mom, let's go to lunch. So they did go to lunch. They didn't lie to her, took her to lunch, and they took her to a senior place here in town that has a memory care department. And they said, this is your new home. And the mom said, let's go back and get in the car. I'm not moving here. This is not me. I don't need to be here. And they didn't. They held their ground. They didn't back down. And the other thing they did, they arranged to have some furniture moved over there from her home. So about 2 hours later, while she's still there, they were there. Here came a lot of her furniture with a lot of things she recognized, her favorite, blanket and chair and kitchenwares or things like that. She didn't need any kitchen stuff, but different. Her clothes became over her bedspread, kind of make it look like home. And then they said okay. And later, late that afternoon, said, Mom, we're going to go home. We'll be back tomorrow. And since then, Mom's called them every name in the book. They didn't know their mom knew the words, and told me that. And I said, well, I totally understand this situation here. And I said, we have to forget Mom, what she said to you, because she's been your mom up until that. She never heard that, so she's been a good mom, obviously your mom. I said, let that go in one ear and out the other. Not her fault. It's her physical condition. Well, not her fault. So that's where they're at right now. So we shall see what's going to happen. So I've got a couple ideas here for you that I want you to talk about here. I want you to think about next Friday night. Well, Rex, we're seniors. We don't know what we're going to do tonight, let alone next Friday night. Not this Friday night, but next Friday night. Friday night, April 25th. I am going to recommend a senior activity for you. I'm going to be there. And it's called Cruising the Ridge. Cruising the Ridge. Cruising the Ridge, it's called, for the summer of 2025. It's 25 years with the local car club, the Classy Chassis. I'm a member of that. And what they do is from 4:30 to 8:30 on the last Friday of every month, and that every Friday, April through September. The last Friday, they're out at the Coral Ridge Mall. Kind of over there in the, let's see, what's across the street? Hallmark is over there. Red Lobster is over there. Another restaurant right across the street there is Chi-Chi's. Is that Chi-Chi's? I don't think so. Can't remember the name. That's right there. It's on the southwest corner of the mall. And yes, you can go into the mall and use the restroom. There's going to be a food truck out there. There's music, 60s music. They play it all the time, so you can hear it. You can wander around, and I'm telling you, folks, you'll see lots and lots of cars. No cost. No cost at all. If you drive your car, if you drive your old car, I'll drive my old car out there. $1 registration if you drive your car out there. You don't have to. You can drive your old car out there and park around the other part of the parking lot and just get your old car out. You don't have to. They don't judge cars. They don't care if your car's got a big dent in the back. You got a 62 Ford with a dent in the back. They don't care. Just get your car out there. Want to get it out, stretch it out, and talk to a bunch of guys and ladies. Hey, there's women, truly, women out there with these cars and trucks and pickup trucks. It's a step back in time, a step back in fun. You might see the car you had in high school, one just like it. It's if you want to give them a free will donation, when you register a car, it costs $1, a whole $1, and then they give money to give money to the where's it going to go this year? It's going to go to the Iowa City Hospice. So what greater way for them to present a check at the end of the summer to the hospice? The officers of the Class C chassis go down and make a presentation. So wonderful time out there. It's rain or shine. If there's lightning, of course they don't have it. You have to run for the hills on lightning. So come on out. If it's nice weather, we get a lot of big crowds. I would tell you that next Friday night, the first one of the year, depending on the weather, it hasn't been too good so far. I haven't even had my old car out. I started it last week. Started right off. That old Pontiac just started right off. But old cars are famous for, you can't depend on them too good. But this is a lot of fun, folks. You'll see people out there. You'll see cars. Gee whiz, my dad had one like that. There's a '52 Chevy pickup. We had one of those back on the farm. You'll probably see one out there. You might see all kinds of cars you hadn't seen for a long time. It's free. There's music playing. You can walk around. There'll be a food truck probably there. I know there will be. You can go in the mall if it's hot. God, I hope it's hot, so I have to go in and cool off. But it probably won't be. You just have a good time, and it's the last Friday of every month. Check your calendar at Coral Ridge Mall. I want you to run out there and see people. You stay for 20 minutes. You stay for a couple hours. It's 4:30 to 8:30, and there'll be all kinds of cars. Go have some fun, for God's sake. Why not? So, spring is a great time. Spring is a great time for each of us. And this year we've had a good run of wind and cool weather, but it's spring and the sun's out and it's going to rain over the weekend. Maybe, I don't know. But it's a good time for us seniors to do some things. It's time to get outside and take a walk if you can. Maybe if you can't walk, maybe just open the doors and air out the house. That always helps. Air that house out this afternoon, for God's sake. So go sit on the front porch, get out and see some things. The hard part about spring is this time of year, from the end after the snow goes, from end of March to about now, just starting to green up. Boy, all the neighborhoods look pretty run down, don't they? Mud and nothing's green, and the trees don't have big leaves. They look kind of run down. But give it a little time, things will look better. But in your neighborhood, are there cars parked all over? The house down the street got some tenants in there, and they parking cars on the street, or half of them in the front yard. You don't have to put up with that. You call your local inspection division and tell them about that. Take a look at your own house. I want you to go across the street and look at your own house while you're out for the walk. Your sidewalk sinking, your garage door look pretty bad. Your bush is overgrown for your house. Overgrown. Lots and lots of people have arborvitae. They're overgrown. They're covering up half the house. Folks, that's not where those things were landscape issue things, not forestry deals. Take a look at your own house. All right. What's your mailbox look like? Your mailbox hanging by a thread out there? Call me. Call a guy. Get somebody to fix that thing. Let's get on. Your home is your largest investment. It really, really is, for the most part. You may own investment property, but for your home is your shelter. Why not spend the money on yourself and on your house? That is something I want you to do. All right. While you're on your little walk, I want to take a look at your neighborhood. How's your neighborhood looking? Looking kind of run down. And be kind of. You probably don't know anybody if you lived there a long time. A lot of people come and gone. But why don't you take a little real estate temperature of yourself and of your house? How's that sound? Take a little temperature of your house and of yourself and living in that neighborhood and in that house. I'm a real estate man. Yes, I'd prefer that you stay there as long as you can and age in place, as long as you treat your house well and do things that need to happen if you're going to stay there. Maybe you need a ramp. Maybe you need new lighting inside. And maybe you need the washer dryer not in the basement or upstairs. Those are things you have to consider. Otherwise, you're going to fall down the steps or trip up the steps. All these crazy things are going to happen because you didn't take care of the house, which would in turn take care of you. So that's kind of what's going on in the real estate world. In the senior world this week. So good time to get out there. And I have a big question for you. is what was the name of Iowa City's first mayor? The first mayor of Iowa City, 1853. Now, some of you would probably claim that you were around, or your dad was around. Well, any guesses as the name of the first mayor of Iowa City? Has a street named after him, and I'm going to tell you this one. You probably I'm going to answer a quiz for you that you always wondered. All right, the name of Iowa City's first mayor was James P. DeForest. That's the year the city was incorporated, and it was actually established in 1839, but it was first incorporated in 1853. And the population of 1850 was 1,250. The first mayor was Mayor DeForest. And have you been on DeForest Drive or DeForest Street or DeForest Avenue over there by Sycamore Mall? That's the street they named after. Wow, isn't that interesting? Well, none of us ever know what our tenure is going to be here on planet Earth, and no guarantees were ever granted, so that's the way we have to do things. So knowing that we as seniors are heading down the back stretch, how about this? Do all you can while you can. Whatever it is you can do, do it. Do all you can while you can. That's the charge from Senior Talk. Do all you can, whatever it is, you go do it and have fun doing it the best you can. All right? Feel free to call me, tell me what you're up to. This is Rex. I'm at 319-330-5534. Give me a call and tell me what you're up to. All right. So this is Rex Brandstatter saying thank you to all veterans for your service, and absolutely thanks for listening to Senior Talk. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you next time. So long.
The Solon American Legion announces their